to the Smart Exercise Show. I'm Flizanes, your host. So I wanted to take the opportunity to tell you a little bit more about me and why I'm doing the Smart Exercise Show. I've been a trainer now for about 20 years, and when I started, I actually chose to do personal training as like a side job because I didn't want to wait tables and because I wanted to use my body, and I was really intrigued by the trainers at the gym, and I wanted to learn more about how to do that. So when I asked my supervisor when I worked at the gym, how do I do what they're doing? He said, take this test. So I called up and I registered and I got a book in the mail and I signed up to take a test. And then I didn't pass the test the first time around. And I realized that that test was a lot about the business side of personal training. So basically how not to get sued and what kind of corporate structure do you need? Are you a sole proprietor? Are you going to be a partnership? Or I don't even think it talked about LLCs, but maybe it did. But what I learned from that experience was that I was being told to learn a little bit about a lot of stuff, know how not to get sued, and then now you're going to be a trainer. And when I finally did pass the test, which was the second time around, I went into the gym as a certified personal trainer. I'm a certified personal trainer, yet I have yet to work with a body or a machine or true anatomy, like hands-on biomechanics. No one has taught me that yet. I read a book, and so now I'm a certified personal trainer. And I hope that that scares you. I hope that frightens you a lot, because that's how it starts. And most personal trainers are not regulated by medical facilities or any governing educational body, which is kind of a good thing because the one that would take over isn't one that I necessarily think should be in charge. So I'm now a certified personal trainer, and I walk into the gym and my supervisor takes me through an education on the different pieces of equipment. Okay, great. So now I'm starting to learn about how to use the equipment. There's still no real anatomy or biomechanics. And then we get to the place where I'm with some clients and another trainer is supervising and watching me, and he's seeing me do things. And honestly, at that time, I thought the job of a personal trainer was to make up new exercises, like things that nobody has seen before. So I'm like pulling on things and pushing on things and feeling my body and making stuff up. So Martin, thank you Martin if you ever cross my path again, Martin says to me, JJ, come here. Can you explain to me what you were doing with that lady on that machine? And I said, sure. And he goes, well, what muscles are being worked? And I guessed. I guessed right, but I guessed. What joints are moving? I guessed right. Then he said, is that appropriate exercise for that person based on their current conditions and fitness level? I think so. So thank God for Martin, because Martin then said, I looked at him and said, okay, I know that I'm guessing, and I don't like that, because I am a certified personal trainer who's supposed to know science. You're asking me good questions that I don't have answers to. So how do I find that out? And he introduced me into a line of education that then therefore changed my life, and I started to learn science. Personal training and exercise is a science. It involves knowing your anatomy first and foremost, where your joints are, where your muscles are, and not necessarily kinesiology, because kinesiology is the study of your muscles at rest, like how they're attached, but not in motion. Biomechanics is the study of your anatomy with force and with movement, like dynamic movement. So now I'm studying anatomy and how the joints work, where they can absorb force and where they're weak or where they're compromised, how the cartilage is on the joints and where it's thicker, where it can absorb more, and when it's thinner and where it can't absorb more of your force. I'm learning about physiology, so the cellular breakdown of the muscle fibers and how do you build muscle? What's the difference between sarcomeric hypertrophy and sarcoplasmic hypertrophy? What's hypertrophy? How do you build endurance? How do you build muscle? So I'm learning all of this. And then I'm learning, besides mechanics and physics, gravity, and how to use weight-based things like free weights, how to use tubing and cables. What's the difference between that? When is it plastic and elastic? What's the difference in the strength profile? How do you match your strength profile with the resistance profile of your exercise? So I'm starting to learn that. And then I learned biochemistry. And then I understand how hormones work And all of this different education really comes into what I consider the pool of information from which I now make decisions and have made decisions for a very long time. Smart exercise really is a study of science. And once you understand the basic sciences, then you can start to take a situation and create anything that you want because you know how it all works. And then you can look at how they work together and see what kind of results that you get. And unfortunately, in today's day, to become a personal trainer, maybe you take a weekend course, or maybe you never step foot in a gym. Maybe you take a test like I did 20 years ago, and you pass or you fail, but now you're certified. So I hope on this journey of smart exercise, you'll get that I really, really want you to get results, but not at the cost of your joints. Too many people exercise these days for immediate results, and that's important, I know, because that's all you know. You're looking at the outside of your body and you're saying, am I building muscle? Am I getting leaner? But what you don't know is what's going on the inside. My original company was called Invisible Fitness because what you can't see is more important than what you can. And what you can't see, the invisible, creates the visible. The forces and the applications onto your body, the physics of mechanics, and again, the resistance that you're using is what makes your body grow muscle or build endurance. And those are things you can't see. Those are naked to your eye. They're under your skin. They're not even, you can't even look at them with a microscope, right? Because we're talking about things in the invisible force. So I hope on this smart exercise journey, you'll know that I have your longevity and health in mind. I want to protect your joints, which for most people is not a sexy thing. I've been talking about joints for 20 years and nobody cares until you get injured. But hopefully I can impress upon you how important it is to care about your joints. When I was first learning in the real personal training certification that I took over and over again and continued the advanced courses and more science and different things, I had one of my instructors say to the group, he said he was a bodybuilder and like an Olympian and he had won titles, and he stood in front of the room and said, I have 11 injuries, don't do what I did. And I went, okay. And that's all I needed to hear. All I needed to hear was he did dumb things that hurt his joints and now he's got joint pain. And he's going to teach me how to use my body and physics and force and mechanics so that I can get results without the joint pain. So that's where I'm going to take you on this journey, and I hope you're going to enjoy it because I want you to get results, to build muscle, burn fat, and protect your joints. Did you enjoy today's show? Do you want even more exercise tips right now? Come on over to fit2love.tv and check out our Movement Mondays.